JHK here for Sportskeeda, and joining me right now is UFC heavyweight Roque Martinez. Roque, how's the island life treating you today?
Oh man, it's good, man. As always, man. I love it out here.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you
it's
can't beat living on an island, really.
that's true, man. That's true. Sometimes I talk to people, living in I don't know colder climates, and it doesn't seem like they have
Yeah,
the quite the same vibe
yep.
with Guam, man. And I know that they went through a lot of like lockdowns and stuff like that. Like, what's the situation right now for you guys?
Man, Guam it's kind of opening up, but at the same time, there are quite a bit of restrictions compared to, like, I would say, stateside. Um, Maybe not as strict as I know a lot of Asia places are pretty strict. So they're kind of opening up hoping to open up to tourists soon, and but we still have to do a quarantine when returning residents come back, or they can bypass it if they're fully vaccinated. But the island's done a pretty good job of vaccinations. We're actually a pretty high rate of vaccinations compared to a lot of countries, so that's pretty cool. We're slowly getting open.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to hear. And I know Guam tourism is a big thing. So when people are not
Oh
coming in,
yeah, that's our main income, for the island. So it definitely took a hard hit on us.
the people around you, how hard does it hit them? Because I know you're involved in the local businesses and stuff like that too.
Yeah, man. Unfortunately, a lot of businesses did shut down here. Especially our tourist district, which is it's a village called Tuman. And, when you drive by these days, you see a lot of places that shut down, and it's kind of sad to see. But the one thing that's cool about Guam is we went through like the World War II thing where the island got destructed, and the thing, and also typhoons are another example. Like, man, we've got blown down, but we always come back pretty strong. So that's the one cool thing about us is we've been through so many of those rebuilding phases, and we'll get back, but the hard times will pass.
Like you said, the rebuilding phases, you've been through that before, and it kind of bleeds into your lifestyle then, right?
Yeah. Yeah, kind of used to it.
2020, you started off fighting for Ryzen. You had a good victory there, and then you make your UFC debut later that year. You fought twice. I didn't even realize until I just saw it. You fought twice in the span of 2 months in the
Yeah.
UFC. And, not the performances that you wanted to have, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? So what were the learning lessons for you inside that octagon?
Man, I think more now than ever, I've kind of realized how much of a mental game it is. There's something there, man. It was like a mental. To me, it's 100% mental. My preparations were good. Maybe not so much the first one because it was such a last minute thing, but for sure the second one, preparation was good, man, and I was looking good and in training with everything. But man, there was just some sort of mental block in the fight where I didn't pull the trigger, and you can see it. Compared to when I fought, you would watch some of my fights before. It's like it was like a whole different. I was a whole different guy in there, and man, I it's probably it's probably like those mental blocks you have to overcome. And I think, like, you just to your question, is I've learned a lot about the mental side of this game, and I've been working hard on it and to overcome that.
Do you think it has anything to do with the environment that you're fighting in? Because you're fighting in this empty room, basically, and
Mm.
you're used to fighting in Japan in front of like 20,000 people.
Yeah, man, that could be it. Uh, I definitely do get that the extra energy when I hear the crowd roar. It kind of gets you hyped up. But then it just kind of goes back to me too, saying that, man, at the end of the day, it's just a fight, and whether you're in front of 1,000 people or no people, you know what I mean. You should be able to fight, and to be honest, my last fight I didn't fight. Dude, it was a super poor performance on my end, and man, I worked hard on just overcoming that mental block. I think maybe it could have been too. I was trying too hard to impress people and be technical. Maybe I was trying to be too technical, and yeah, I'm excited for this one, man. Just to try and bring back the old Roki again.
In the first two fights, you're trying to be something that you thought others would want to see rather than being just you yourself, how you fight,
Yeah,
your style.
that's funny you bring that up. Is like for example, Ryzen, right? When you fight in Ryzen, they say, oh, they don't care if you win or lose, but if you go out there and you fight and you put on the line, that's what people respect. So when I had that mentality, I think that's when I do good. But when I went to the UFC, I'm like, okay, no, throw that out the window. Let's just worry about getting a win. And I think, dude, that's exactly what happened. Is I thought too much. Okay, I need a win. I need to be super strategic against Dontel Mays. But that's not my strength, man. I'm just one of those guys that just you got to go in there and fight. Just scrap. What the people like to see is what I think I thrive on. Like what I'm a fan friend. I believe I have a fan friendly style, and that's when I have the most success. And that's just what I got to do on this next one.
After 2 losses, some fighters will start dissecting their surroundings. Did you dissect your surroundings? Did you decide, okay, I need to change some things in my preparation just because it might not just be the mental side of the game?
Yeah, of course it's crossed my mind. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you need to maybe go off island, get some off island training, and stuff like that. But it goes back to my last fight where I felt like I could perform good, but I didn't just because that mental block. But at the same time, I look back too on the last 2 fights, and Guam was pretty close on pretty strict lockdowns, which didn't allow for us to like kind of openly train. We was kind of kept behind like we're trying not to show too much that we're training because technically we were violating the restrictions, and also like a lack of guys coming out. Like a lot of people didn't want to train during that time. They were scared, which you can't blame them. Everybody wants to be safe, but I think that had a big part to do with it. And but this one, what I think is also a big difference too is I really work with my coach Melker on like what I saw was definitely a weakness was my wrestling. I lost base with my wrestling, at least for the sheer fact of using it to prevent takedowns and keep it standing and whatnot. So I mean, just those few things alone, I think are big game changers for me that I worked on this time around.
For sure. And, now you're stepping back in, plenty of time to prepare. Even though you had time to prepare in your last fight, this one, you have what, 7 months? That's a long time.
Yeah, shoot. Since prior to the last time, then I even got the notice for the fight like 15 or 16 weeks out. So that was pretty cool too. It allowed me to work on dissect certain things and stuff like that.
No doubt. Now you got Josh Parisian, man. He's a striker with knockout power. It's like a style that you faced before, or someone similar to that. What is your breakdown of him and the style that he brings?
Yeah, he looks like a striker, and the thing that kind of stood out in my mind was on his last fight. The commentators, when they said that he doesn't train to win, he trains for fight night bonuses and stuff like that. I think that's cool, man, and I really I think that if he has that mentality, and with the mentality I'm going in on this fight, I mean, it definitely has the makings for a freaking for fireworks. He looks like he throws some fancy stuff, the spinning stuff and all that. But I watched his last fight and he's down to trade too. So, man, I really think this will be an exciting one for the fans, a fan favorite type of fight.
Yeah, it is. It is. Like you said, Josh, he likes to throw his hands. He wants to entertain and get the knockout. And in many ways, it kind of works into your favor and the style that you want to bring back into this fight, right?
Yeah. So like ideally, man, if it comes out and it, we start those small exchanges and then it starts blowing up and it gets to one of those crazy brawls, like I'm kind of looking forward to that, man. As much as you want to say, oh, let's stay away from these wars, I think I need one of those, man. And it's just I'm really excited for this one because there's just like of course overcoming the mental block and that I felt like something was wrong there on the last one, and just I know my back's against the wall for sure because I can't afford a loss. You know what I mean? Like I'll probably get my walking papers, get released by the UFC if I lose, and I just don't see it. I don't believe this is how my story is supposed to be. Where, oh yeah, he made it to the UFC, but he was 0-3. You know what I mean? Like, there's something in me that just can't let that happen, man. There's like I keep telling myself, if there's any fight in my life I ever needed to win, it's for sure this one. Like 100%, I need to win this fight, and I feel like I'm willing to die for this one. You know what I mean? Like, he's gonna have to take me out. Like I said, he's gonna have to kill me, man. Like that's just the bottom line. I'm coming like kill or be killed, and yeah, man, my back's against the wall, and you know, the few times in my career when I've been in a situation where I'm coming off, you know, a loss or just some sort of adversity, I usually bounce back pretty hard. So yeah, man, I'm just really excited, and I hope it turns into a war, man, because I don't think I'll quit if it gets into that situation. And with how hard I've been training right now and everything, it has to work out to where I win, and I do it impressively as well.
How do you feel like the fight will play out though? Like, of course you want a war, but you want to win. Do you feel like you could get a war out of him and get a knockout at the late in the rounds, or what do you see?
Yeah, for sure. If it goes to a war, I'm 100% confident that if someone's gonna break, it's not gonna be me, and I know that I do have that power to put him out. I've been working on that a lot too, man. Is just again using my hand. I feel like for a heavyweight, I have pretty good hand speed and explosiveness, but I've really emphasized at this camp on throwing it, man, and I'm throwing hard in training now compared to before. So I feel like, yeah, for sure I can get the knockout at any time. You know, I know fans love wars, so if it goes that way and I win that way, whether it's a crazy war like decision and I win, or fans love knockouts, so I'll take a knockout as well. Shit, if it happens super fast, that's fine. If it happens in the third round, it's fine. It can happen in the third because I know I have the gas tank to do it and throw hard all the way through. So whatever it takes, but at the end of the day, I gotta win this one, man, impressively.
Yeah, that's saying a lot because you've had some big fights outside of the UFC. You know, what I mean, you faced
Yeah,
Krokov, you know, and that had a sour ending to it. But still, man, heading into that fight, I'm pretty sure mentally that was a battle too.
yeah, that was the fight I had to win at that time. But like right now, when I compare all my fights together, this is the one I have to win, man. I can't be that guy who just made it and he fell short, man. I don't think I'll be able to live with that, and it's just not in me, man. I don't think that's gonna be part of my story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. Now, you mentioned Guam is opening back up, and you are part owner of a promotion, Brawl International. I just wanted to get an update on that, man. I'm pretty sure if tourists are coming in, you probably want to have a show, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. You know, me and a couple of the other guys. Melker's one of our partners as well. He's my coach, but you know, we're just talking about that, and man, once they're able to get things in motion to where we can have fans. I mean, even if it's not a lot of fans or a restriction on that, that'd be fine too. But we for sure want to get that show up and going again. You know, it really that's the bummer thing that's the bummer that happened was when it happened. Our show it sparked MMA on Guam again. Like there was a lot of buzz after that fight going around. Like man, we sold out that whole ballroom max capacity. People were getting turned away. It was like packed. Like I don't never seen that ballroom packed like that. And the fights were pretty exciting as well. And man, we were so excited that MMA got blown back up. And then the week later was when everything went to lockdown. It was like, oh man, you got to be kidding me. So we want to do that again, you know. But people still, I'm sure it's still pretty somewhat fresh in their minds, you know. So we want to get Guam MMA back up and jumping, you know. And on top of that, it'll help with our training here in Guam. I believe more people like man back when PXE was running. A lot of people came to Guam to train, and you know they wanted to come here. And if we can do that for with Brawl and just get the gyms back up and bumping and all that, that's what we'd want, you know. And it'll benefit me too. You know, I'll probably get more partners, especially now that we're opening up. I've been wanting for a long time to get a training partners out to Guam. Like, man, I'll pay for some good partners to come out and, you know, like a training vacation, man. You know, we'll give them a place to stay, and I'll have some good partners, maybe as opposed to me flying off island. But of course, the whole 2-week quarantine thing, that's not logical for somebody to come out and do a quarantine for 2 weeks and then help me train. You know, that's just So yeah, I'm excited for that too. Like I want to get some pretty good camps going out here, and and definitely get Brawl back up and running and up to, and just get the whole MMA scene on Guam back up and bumping.
I don't think people realize how much talent came out of PXC. You know what I mean? A lot of fighters went through that league.
Yeah, I forgot who I was talking to about that the other day, but we really just like kind of just kept naming every name we thought of that made it to UFC.
Yeah.
We're like, holy shit. Like we just kept going and going and going. You're like, wow, you just never really realized it till now. And I think back on, I've seen, of course, I fought on a lot of those cards, and I watched a lot, and it's pretty amazing how many people we've seen that were either on the same card as me, or I've watched them fight too, that are now in the UFC. Look at Volkanovski too, right? He was the PXC champ. I was there when he beat Yusuke Yachi for his title. So that's cool to see, you know what I mean? And it'd be cool to have Brawl be a hub like that again, or something like that.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to hear that you're spearheading the next generation, because there's talent there. You just got to let them have their canvas, right, to show that talent.
Yeah, once they see that, the kids get excited. They're like, all right, that's it, man. That's what I want to do, And yeah, we want to give them that platform, man, so they can at least build up here and then get into bigger shows elsewhere, And hopefully one day we'll be a pretty well-recognized show as well.
No doubt, man. Well, yourself, man, personally, you're stepping back into the cage June 19th in Las Vegas. Roque, appreciate the time, man. I see you different, man. Something's different about you, and we'll see what happens.
It's just crazy you say that. It's just I feel it deep down, like in my soul, man. It's just something good's gonna. I mean, it has to. Like I don't see it any other way, man. And I hope it plays out the way I'm feeling, man. Because if it does, then a lot of good things are to come.